I still remember that morning as if it just happened yesterday, one of those moments that's so awkward, so unexpected, that it burns into your memory forever. And funny enough, it changed everything. It was a quiet Sunday morning. The kind where the sun creeps through your blinds just enough to remind you it's okay to stay lazy for a while. I had just moved into a shared apartment a week before, a cozy two-bedroom place near the college where I worked as a part-time art tutor. I'd been paired with a new roommate through a friend of a friend, Ethan, a software engineer who'd recently relocated for his job. We'd only met twice before that morning. He seemed nice, polite, a bit shy, the kind of guy who smiles more with his eyes than his mouth. I didn't know much about him except that he was organized, quiet, and apparently drank way too much coffee. That morning, I woke up earlier than usual, craving a long shower before heading out to the farmer's market. Ethan wasn't an early riser, so I figured the bathroom would be free. I grabbed my towel, phone, and a change of clothes, humming as I walked down the hallway. I didn't realize the door was slightly ajar. The steam fogged up the mirror, and the sound of water hitting tiles echoed softly. I froze for a second, confused. Wait, had I left the shower running? No, the toothbrush cup wasn't in its usual spot. And then, right as I took a hesitant step forward, a voice broke through the sound of the running water. What the? My heart nearly jumped out of my chest. Before my brain could even process it, Ethan turned around, half hidden behind the shower curtain, soap dripping down his hair. We both screamed. Well, I screamed. He just looked absolutely mortified. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, I yelled, stumbling backward, clutching the towel like a shield. I slammed the door shut, so fast it rattled. My face felt like it was on fire. From the other side of the door, I heard him stammer. It's okay. I thought you were still asleep. I ran straight to my room, shut the door, and buried my face in a pillow, trying not to die of embarrassment. I must have paced back and forth for 10 minutes, replaying the moment in my head over and over again. Why didn't I knock? Why wasn't the door locked? Why did this have to happen to me? When I finally dared to peek out into the hallway again, the sound of the shower had stopped. I heard the bathroom door open, soft footsteps, and then his door closing quietly. The apartment was filled with silence and the heavy weight of awkwardness. I decided to give it some time before I faced him again. I made coffee, turned on some music, pretended to scroll on my phone, basically anything to look normal when he eventually came out. When he did, he looked equally flustered. His hair was still damp, and he avoided eye contact as he poured himself coffee. I caught myself glancing at him and quickly looked away. He finally broke the silence. So, that was quite the morning. I laughed awkwardly, clutching my mug. You think? Then he did something unexpected. He smiled. Not the shy, polite one I'd seen before. A real, genuine, slightly embarrassed grin that somehow made me relax. It's okay, he said softly. We can just pretend that never happened. Agreed, I said quickly, though I couldn't stop the nervous laugh that escaped. Like, forever pretend. Forever pretend, he repeated, holding up his mug in a mock toast. Something about that tiny exchange shifted the air between us. The tension slowly melted into a kind of mutual understanding. Two people who just shared a deeply embarrassing human moment and survived it. Over the next few days, we found ourselves laughing about it more often than we probably should have. It became our running inside joke. Remember that time you invaded my shower? He'd tease. Remember when you didn't lock the door? I'd shoot back. Before I knew it, we were hanging out more, cooking dinner together, watching random documentaries on the couch. It felt easy, natural, and weirdly comforting. One evening, after a long day at work, I found him sitting on the balcony, typing on his laptop. The golden light from the sunset made his hair glow a soft amber. I brought him a cup of coffee, set it beside him, and he smiled without looking up. Thanks, he said. You always know what I need. It was such a simple thing to say, but it made my heart skip in a way I didn't expect. I sat beside him, pulling my knees up to my chest. You've been working hard lately. Yeah, he sighed.
Deadlines.
But this helps. He nodded toward the mug. And your company. That was the first time I realized I might be feeling something more than just roommate-level comfort. It scared me a little, how quickly awkwardness had turned into closeness. But it was real. And it was growing. A few nights later, we decided to host a small movie night. Just the two of us. Popcorn, old comedy movies, and the promise of no awkward moments, which, of course, was a lie. Halfway through the movie, I leaned over to grab my drink, and the remote slipped from my hand. As I reached down, our heads bumped. Ow, we both said in unison. Then we laughed, that kind of uncontrollable, can't-breathe laughter that only happens when two people are way too comfortable together. When the laughter finally died down, our faces were closer than they'd ever been. For a second, the room went quiet. The only sound was the soft hum of the TV. My heart was beating so fast I could hear it in my ears. I looked at him, really looked, and saw that same nervous spark in his eyes. But neither of us moved. We both just smiled. And then he said, in a quiet, teasing voice, "At least this time, no one's in the shower." I burst out laughing, hiding my face in my hands. "You're never going to let that go, are you?" "Not a chance," he said, chuckling. "That's kind of our story now, isn't it?"